Hello and welcome to part 3 of Neurodiversity at Work. In this part of the presentation, I will be sharing with you some tips, some best practice stories, some food for thought in terms of where you can start, and then also share some resources with you that might be helpful, especially if you want to reach out to experts in a specific situation that you might have in the workplace. So let's start with some tips. So the tips are inspired by Yvonne Saxon. She is head of HR at D&I Services at Vista Employer Services Limited in the UK, and she has advised many employers about how best to navigate their way through some challenges that they might come across. So she says to start with asking the individual what they need, so find out what's helpful to them, what is difficult for them, what might they be worrying about as a candidate as they go for a job, what's worked for them previously, and would it be helpful for them to maybe involve a family member or a friend in these discussions. She suggests to then consider the job role and the work environment with renewed focus. So have a real think about what aspects of the role may be more challenging for them than others, what could be done to overcome those challenges, and what might they need in terms of work routine, structure, and flexibility. Also seeing if they would need to access access to work, which is a government support that can support with funding equipment or adaptations needed. Don't forget training and development, so really considering what difficulties they might be in terms of the where and how the training is taking place, what format the learning materials work best for them, and then also, just what is the best way of delivering the training, and do they need any breaks or support if there's online training that needs to happen. Social interaction is something else that needs to be considered in terms of what might they need their manager or their colleagues to be aware of. So making sure from the social environment at work if there's anything that they need. So asking them is kind of the first step that she suggests HR professionals and business leaders should do. There is a place for doing a medical report or getting occupational health involved, because they can provide more focused information or address specific areas of medical complexity. Another option or an additional option could be undertaking neurodiversity profiling in cases where an individual do not have a diagnosis. And this could also be helpful as just as helpful as a medical report when it comes to determining what might be needed to assist them. Sometimes the reality is that if adjustments have been put in place and does not make a difference, to then consider whether enough time to embed the training has been allowed. And if all these things have been considered and you followed this process, then sometimes if it's not possible to accommodate the individual, then at least they will feel listened to if you have explored everything together with them as set out above on this slide, and they feel fairly treated and have more understanding of the employer's position as well, and will be less likely end in a tribunal situation. The book by Amanda Kirby and Theo Smith also shares a lovely case study where Auto Trader was the first autism-friendly UK company that the National Autistic Society helped achieve that. So what did they do? First of all, they reached out to the experts to support. So Auto Trader went to the NAS and they said, we want to learn more about how to support our colleague who has got ASD or autistic spectrum disorder. And NAS started by doing a full audit of their offices to look at the physical working environment. They made their policies and practices clearer for everyone as a result. They did awareness training for people managers, and they did awareness training for the people team to support them with the way they do recruitment and onboarding, etc. They put in place network leads, and their role was to lead the Disability Neurodiversity Network and help their people understand it's part of their day job to continuously improve the employee experience. They also had an environment team who were responsible for the physical environment and also the technology that their colleagues use. Some of the people on these teams are neurodiverse themselves, so were involved in the solution. What an amazingly inspiring story of best practice by Auto Trader there. And one of their values in the organization was community-minded, which fits beautifully and was also the way that the culture embraced this process. So what can you do? Let's start things in a simple way. So start by having a genuine interest and a desire to increase your personal awareness. What do you know and how can you find more information out so that when you see certain behavior, instead of making a judgment, you might think, well, hang on a minute, let's find out what's going on here and how best can I support this employee. Create meaningful partnerships with the experts. So know who the experts are and learn from them and ask for help so that they can support you, because, you know, we can't all be the experts in everything, but knowing who the experts are is the way to go. Involve your neurodiverse colleagues to be part of creating and maintaining the change, so they will know what works for them, and that is valuable data and information that you can apply in what you create. Tell your people what you're trying to do so that they know what's going on to make your working environment more inclusive to neurodiverse colleagues. And finally, just do something. An awareness session will go a long way and it will absolutely spark interest, so people might want to know more. Just never stop. It's never ending. It's not a project that's done and finished. It should be part of your overall people strategy. Here are some resources. So access to work, government support, the National Autistic Society, ADHD UK, a Dyslexia Association, Tourette's Action Help Desk, Dyspraxia Education, and then Amanda Kirby's Do It profile there as well. So if you're interested to have a little look at that. Thank you so much for listening to part 3 of Neurodiversity at Work. I hope you found the information stimulating and thought-provoking, and good luck with creating diverse talents in the workplace and creating psychologically safe and mental well-being workplaces in the world. So good luck. Remember to reach out to the experts and get in touch if you would like to talk more.